Hey, are you ready to learn?
What? What you wanna know? Why? Why you wanna know? What? Don't you wanna learn? So tell me what you wanna know. What? What you wanna know? Why? Why you wanna know? Oh, what? Don't you wanna learn? So tell me what you wanna know.
Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome once again to I've Never Met a Texture I Don't Like. Hopefully, you're tuning in for another edition because you trusted or liked what you heard from the first initial podcast. Again, my name is Angie. I am the owner of Sincerely Beautiful, and we focus more so on healthy hair care. I'm a specialist with prevention of hair loss and just healthy things that you could do for your hair, whether it be on the natural side or just kind of finding your way in this journey. So I help a lot of people to not only reach their hair goals. We jokingly call me the hair whisperer because I get a lot of people's hair growing that are in my chair personally. But if my hands are not in your hair, I just love to share my educational knowledge. So that's what this podcast is all about. Today we're actually going to be talking about 10 healthy hair tips. Last week we talked a little bit about signs of your hair not being healthy. So now I'm going to start diving in a little bit deeper to our story of getting you to a place of your hair being healthy. So let's start with number one. We are going to start from the roots. I like to call the scalp the garden. The garden is where your roots actually grow. If you think about somebody who is so proud of the things that they have coming out each season, the fruit is bearing from the roots. If you have a healthy garden, you till the soil. You try to make sure that you fertilize. You try to make sure that you're turning things over on a regular basis. So if you equate all of that to the same things with your hair, if you want nice, healthy hair, whatever length it is that you're working with, you want to make sure that that root area is taken care of the same way. So starting from the roots, using that healthy garden idea, we want to make sure that we're looking at the scalp. If you're seeing signs of dandruff, if you're seeing flaking, if you're overly oily, if you have a constant scratching, all of those are signs that there's something going on deeper. Sometimes it is just surface level. But when I look at somebody's hair, when I'm doing an actual assessment, when they first come to see me, I actually go through their scalp area. As a licensed cosmetologist, we're trained. You want to do a quick assessment of somebody's hair before you get into it. So any stylist you have and they rush you right to the bowl, they may not be serious about their craft. I don't care how much time, as far as you might be late, you might be running behind or anything like that. It could be a detriment situation. I'm going to go left field for a little bit. What if you come into the salon and you've got a case of head lice? That stylist never even glanced at your scalp to know that you've got something else going on. Going from my days when I first started doing hair care, we had children that parents would bring them in with ringworm on their scalp. And that is a highly contagious thing. If you've never even heard of ringworm, children in all races can get it. And the thing is, if the stylist just dives right in and starts washing your hair, you now that have this highly contagious thing that you now have on your hands, you're spreading the disease around. So I always tell somebody, I'm just giving you a quick over. I may not let you know what I'm looking for as a stylist, but it's for your protection in mind that I'm checking out to see what's happening. But when I go even further into my trichology, which is someone who helps with hair loss and scalp disorders, I'm seeing men and women that have alopecia. So I'm looking for changes in the hair. I'm looking for if there's kind of inflammation in the scalp, if things look like they're swelling. The scalp can tell a lot of things about what's going on. Sometimes when people have other health concerns, lupus, they have, a lot of disorders that are flared up. And if you look at the scalp, you can actually see those things. even without microscopes, just looking at the naked scalp itself. So we want to start at that root and see what else is going on. Because if you're constantly saying you're having breakage, oh, my hair has never grown long and everything, sometimes it may be as simple as us clearing out the scalp. Let's get some circulation going on, and then we'll start getting your hair a little bit better moving. So next we want to talk, I say, just from the inside out. You hear a lot of people using that kind of term. It starts on the inside. When you look at healthcare, when you're trying to work out, you can't just work out and expect to lose a lot of weight. You might get a little bit forward, but if your diet is not something that you're taking care of, it's twofold. You have to make sure you're doing an equal balance of both things. So it's the same thing with hair. What you put on the inside of your body can affect your hair, whether it be the growth of it, the breakage of it. So, I tell people it's sometimes with hair care and healthy hair, it's a lot deeper than just putting on a nice product on top of it. It's just that surface level that you're touching. So when I say from the inside out, I talk to my clients about diet. What are you putting into your body? How healthy are you when you're eating? Even if it's not the perfect condition, there's certain things that can actually stunt your hair growth, things that can actually make you have inflammation and flare-ups. I also start looking at medication. If you're on certain medications, it may thin out your hair. It may actually cause breakage. So that's one of the things that I look at as well. I ask, my clients when they come in, what kind of medications are you on? How long have you been on those medications? Because that's what you're putting inside of your body. Eventually it comes out through your hair is the last place that you're going to see it in. I ask about your water intake. Quiz time, you guys. How many of you guys actually know how much water you should be drinking? The minimum is 64 ounces. But you actually should, if you're talking to a nutritionist or a dietary person, they're going to tell you you should actually take your weight in ounces divided in half. So I'm just going to do some quick math. If you are 140 pounds, you should actually be drinking 70 ounces of water. 140 divided by 2, quick math, that's 70. So your minimum is 64 ounces. Ideally, if you're trying to lose weight, you're going to be drinking a lot of water at first, but as you start to lose weight, you're going to drink a little bit less water. But you're trying to flush out toxins. A lot of times when you have toxins in your body, it is going to have an effect on your hair. So those are one of the things that I start talking about. So it's so much deeper than just using a special shampoo. Stress has a lot of things to deal with it, again, from the inside out. If you have a lot of things that are going on with your mental, that again can affect your hair. It typically can take 3 months for you to start to see some kind of results. 3 months meaning if you had stress that was going on 3 months ago, you were planning a wedding, you were going to college, you had a lot of things happening in your life. 3 months later, your hair starts falling out and you're like, I'm done with that. I wasn't even doing this anymore. But it took that amount of time for it to go through your body, for you to start getting that type of reflection through your hair. And then it can take another 3 months for your body to recover from that traumatic situation. So when I'm looking from the inside out, I'm looking at some of those other factors that you might not have thought about. And in my salon here, or home salon, of course, through the pandemic, most of my clients come to my residence to get their hair done one-on-one. But we call them therapy sessions. So in our therapy sessions, I'm going to kind of give you some ideas and see if I can trigger some thoughts of what's going on with you. But I don't necessarily am looking for a response. So when you are talking and when you're thinking, I want you guys to do this exercise yourself. Kind of think back. If you've had a change in your hair, think about 3 months. What happened 3 months ago that could have triggered some issues or concerns? Okay. So starting from the inside out to help out with your hair journey. Number 3, I tell you guys, look at seasonal changes. So, I like to get my clients to think in seasons when it comes to their hair. A lot of times when you're going for haircuts and trims, they're like, oh, we need you to come back every 6 weeks. It's like a doctor checkup. A lot of times you have so much going on with life. I can't even remember the last time, I did something week-wise. With this pandemic, I'm already thinking to myself, is today Friday? Is it Saturday? What day is it? But I like to think in seasons. So I do have some of my clients that may not be on a 2-week rotation as far as hairstyling things, but they come to me 4 times a year. Every time the season changes, I'm seeing them for a checkup. If their routine has changed seasonally, we're also going to be doing a routine checkup. So seasonal changes, your hair tends to adapt to the seasons. If you're in an area, I'm in Virginia, and that area has a lot of humidity during the summer. So a lot of times my clients may change up what they're doing with their hair care, their products, those kind of things, because it's a little bit more humid in the area. As it gets drier in the wintertime, we do get mild snow. So the air is a lot drier. Their hair, once again, is going to respond to that seasonal change. So when they come to see me, I'm going to do like a quick tune-up, take a look at their hair, look at their scalp, see if we're doing any kind of changes with their styling, so that we can kind of assess what things do we need to do differently this season. I'm going to take that opportunity to keep them up to date with a trim, a treatment, and go from there. So 4 times a year at minimum is what I like to see my clients, so that we can kind of reassess their hair goals for that season and make sure that they're still on track. That's a good key point for a lot of people. I tell them, if you have products that you're using, you might only use those products half time of the year. And then the other half the time of the year, you're using it based on how your hair is responding. Hopefully that helps. Thinking seasonally, it's a little bit easier for you to kind of manage that way. So I kind of mentioned products. I know a lot of people love their products, but sometimes they can be the culprit of what is causing your hair not to be healthy. So when I'm looking at healthy hair tips, I look at expired products. A lot of these clubs that you do for hair care, you end up getting like this whole basket full of products. You may use them, you may not. You open them up and then you close them. You forget about them. You throw them underneath your cabinet. And that's one of the things that I tell people. These products do expire. So just like you clean out your refrigerator, you need to be cleaning out your products. People think about it with makeup and food, of course, but you have to look at it at your hair care products. I don't care how much you spent on it. If it has gone rancid, it has changed the consistency of it, it needs to go. Because you can end up losing your hair, getting a fungal infection, causing, disease in your actual hair and scalp, because it's no longer a safe product to use. If you don't know, when you look at your bottle, most products, especially if they're professionally manufactured, they will have a symbol on them. And that symbol is usually circled or have a triangle on it, and it'll have a number inside of it. That number is telling you the shelf life of the product. Occasionally they'll put batch numbers on it, so it does depend on the manufacturer, but it's based on when you open it up. I tell people that is just a guideline, because the thing is, if you have it in a different environment, let's say, your shampoo you keep in the shower, so it's constantly around humidity, it might get wet into it, that's going to change the consistency of it. It may go bad a little bit longer. I actually get more frustrated with some of these beauty stores, because a lot of the times when you're seeing these professional products that they may not have the license to sell, oftentimes they have gotten products that the manufacturer wishes that it was not sold. As a licensed professional, I kind of get the behind the scenes information from the manufacturers. They'll let us know, hey, this product we're taking off the shelf, either A, we've had complaints from it. We have had customers that, have had bad reactions to stuff. We have had people, say that they wish we would change this. So they take it off the shelves and no longer want to sell it. Some of these beauty supply stores take that opportunity, buy it in bulk, even though it's no longer safe to be put out to the public, and then you buy it unknowingly. I have had clients that told me, oh, I went to Mr. Hopefully this doesn't sound bad, y'all, but Mr. Ling Ling store, and I just bought it. This was so much cheaper than what I can find it here. But when they used it, they realized that it didn't smell the same as what I used. The consistency was different. The color was different. I've even had somebody tell me that they bought something and you could tell that the person had poured something completely different into the bottle and sold it as that labeled production. In my salon, we use all professional products as far as shampoos and conditioners. I am a formulator, so I have started